All right, so today we're going to be learning something called 4-point refutation. But before we do 4-point refutation, we're going to do a cool experiment, do a cool application, and I'll try it with most of you until one of you gets it right. If not, then we'll learn it. So, what's your name?
Max.
Max, yes, I knew that because I loved your name, Max. Okay, so if you were going to sell me this pen, that dry erase pen, how would you do it? Right. If I didn't have a dry erase pen and you're going to sell me a dry erase pen, or you could pretend it's not a dry erase pen, pretend whatever it is, how would you go about selling it to me? What do you think?
I would give its pros. I would compare it to the next leading, or
that's good.
I would compare it to all of that.
That's good. That's close. It's not quite what I'm looking for. Let's try. Okay. How would you sell me this pen? Just pretend it was a regular pen.
So I see a lot of commercials.
1 second. It is. Okay, let's keep going. Come on. All right, how would you sell me this pen? Come on.
I would tell you why you need it.
Okay, and what would you say?
I would say you don't have a dry erase pen.
Perfect.
If you want to write something on that board,
Perfect.
a regular pen will not work. You need this pen.
There we go. What did he just do? He created a need. He said, write up on the board. I don't have a pen to write up on the board. I can't write up on the board. I need a pen. He comes in with the answer, dry erase pen. So what did he do? He created, this pen actually doesn't work, so that's why he used the red one. He created a need. And that is how a lot of times the sales industry works. You create a need. In the debate round, there is 2 things that help you win. Number 1, your case, or your positive matter, the things that you set up, your disadvantages, your arguments that beat their case. But then number 2 is how you respond to their arguments. That is what the judge, pretend this is the judge, that is what the judge needs to see in order to win. Because if this is the affirmative team and this is the negative team, and they both just present their case, they're like, oh yeah, I'm so cool. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm so cool. The judge is like, now it's 2 ships passing in the night. Like, I just have 2 people that are bringing their own cases. They're not clashing. They're not, there's no conflict. But if this guy comes up and says, here's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, why I'm better than him, and here's my case, the judge is like, oh, well, he just destroyed this guy and then presented me with a better option. And that's what we're going to learn today. 4-point refutation. 4-point refutation is how to go about proving your opponent wrong. And it's the best way that modern society has come up with how to prove your opponent wrong. And it's a very, very good strategy. So, any questions about 4-point refutation? Okay, so let's get into what it is. This is what... Right, but it's a little bit more technical than that. That's good. It's they say, we say, because... and therefore. So, we learned that there is a need for refutation in the round. So how do you adequately kind of scratch that itch? How do you adequately fulfill the need in the judge's mind? Through 4 different ways. The first one is you tell the judge what they said. You recap their argument. Is anybody familiar with the straw man fallacy? No? Are you familiar with the straw man fallacy? What is it? Perfect. Perfect. Now, you don't commit that fallacy in this one. It's simply just recapping their argument. So the judge knows, this is the argument he's hitting on. Okay, I know where he's tracking. You tell the judge what the opponent said. Then you tell the judge your claim. What is a claim that we learned yesterday?
A claim is what you're trying to state on. It's like
right.
Your given statement that you're going to build up from.
Right, and you use your warrants to build it up. Right. You use your warrants and the impact to strengthen it. However, we say it isn't a warrant or impact. We say it's just a claim. It's just your statement. Judge, this is what they say. You know what? I diametrically disagree with that. This is what I say. I say the exact opposite. And if you stop right there, the judge is like, great, buddy. Like, I'm glad you disagree. That's what you're here for. It's a debate round, Like, that's perfect. It's what you're supposed to do. But here's where the kicker comes in. Because this is the warrant. Why do you disagree? How do you disagree? What do you disagree with? Who is qualified that disagrees with you? All of that good stuff happens in here. and then therefore is the impact. Therefore is why you win, basically. Therefore, their argument falls, mine stands. So, for example, if we're going to take your karate versus taekwondo thing, you could say, you know what, Judge? Some people say that taekwondo is better than karate. I say that karate is way better than taekwondo. Why? Because in karate they teach you, they teach you strikes, they teach you self-defense. It's a lot better cardio. Whereas in taekwondo they just teach you kicks and forms. You know what that means? That means that karate is a lot better adapted to the real world. It's a lot better adapted for self-defense, and that's a great way in real life of how you would use 4-point refutation. So let's just pretend we're gonna practice this out a lot. So let's say you say karate is good. Let's just say that. Karate equals yay. Okay. And so then that's what you say. You get up there and you say karate is great. And I say taekwondo. Taekwondo.
It's an A instead of an O in the middle.
A in the O.
Yeah.
Right here? Ah. There we go. Okay. Taekwondo. I say taekwondo teaches kicks. So then you would come back and respond with that, with what we just promised. So let's just take another example. Now we'll get into like how to use this in a rounded strategy, but I really want to get this in your guys' head. Memorize this. They say, we say, because therefore. And this will help a lot of times in rounds. When they say something, your opponent is like, you know what? Gorillas are the strongest animal in the world. Let's just pretend. They say gorillas are the strongest animal in the world. And you're like, dang it, like I have no idea what I'm going to say. Because have you ever gotten up or you've thought of something, somebody says something, and you're like, I don't know what I'm going to say. Like, I can't think that fast. Well, this is... well, we'll get there. We'll get there. Hold on. Save the good stuff. We'll get there. You're like, gosh, dang it, like, I just don't know what to say. Well, when you're writing their argument down, just go boom, 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 boom. Because you don't know what you're going to say, but you know you're going to say it with 4-point refutation. And that's the perfect way to do it. Because you know what you need to say. You know you need to recap their argument. You know you need to say what you want to say. You know you need to say why you want to say it, and then what the impact of that is. So a lot of times, even when you don't know, you don't have the argument in your head yet, you can find that argument during prep time, at least flow these 4 lines across because you know you want to say it with 4-point refutation. So let's give me a statement. Give me an argument that you believe or you make, like about Israel. What was the one you had yesterday? What was that one?
The United States should support Israel in their current conflict.
Okay, United States should support Israel in their current conflict. So let's pretend he got up there and he said, yay, Israel. They're cool. The IDF is boss. Okay, I get up there and I say, let's see. I say, nah, man. We don't even know that Israel has any nukes. No nukes. And Israel's totally weak. Totally weak. So, using 4-point refutation, starting with you, what would you say right here?
You'd recap his argument by saying that
Oh no, I said this. You guys are responding to my statement.
Oh.
No nukes and they're totally weak. How would you respond to
I
that?
would say my opponent says that Israel is totally weak.
Okay, awesome.
Because they don't have nukes.
Okay, recap, no nukes. Okay, what would you say next?
On contrary, we say that
Okay. Israel needs help and is cool. Okay, and what would you say on the because line? Why is this true?
Because Israel has advanced technology.
Advanced technology. Okay. Comparative, that's good. Comparative. And then what is the impact of these arguments? We should Therefore, we should support. Okay. We're going to do this a bunch of times because it's going to be so much fun. Okay. Give me an example of an argument. And I'm going to get harder and harder on the response side, so I'm going to make you guys think harder and harder of really good things to respond with. So give me an example of an argument.
Let's see
Anything. Dogs are great. Bananas are awesome. Swimming's the
Dogs
best.
are great.
Dogs are great. Okay. Dogs are great. Okay. I say. What do I want to say? I say. Hair is bad. Dog hair is bad because 17 people a year die from choking on dog hair. Choking on dog hair. Okay.
I did not know that.
Boom, 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 boom.